You're going to be pleased if you're not already. Why? Switzerland is entering a period of zero interest rates as a result of the approval of the shadow money. Guys, do you remember what occurred when there were no banks or interest rates in the world? Or extremely cheap rates? The parabolic run in 2020 did indeed occur. And you know what? It seems to be repeating itself. Considering it was our timeline from the beginning of time, that is strange. 3 choices are available. Pump it now till it collapses, but since we are consolidating, these are incorrect. Number 2 is collapse, which is now highly unlikely, and number 3 is pumping money into the system at zero interest rates, printing abnormal amounts of money and then pumping it up again until it collapses. It appears that this happened all over the world, guys, at the Swiss National Bank, and you know, America will undoubtedly experience whatever occurs over there. Therefore, America intends to have low rates. By the way, the president of the NAC claims that the Federal Reserve Board is complicit, and that is the only way that this will happen. Let's get started. Do any of you see what I mean? The Federal Reserve must be held accountable for the impending recession. Either that, or I suppose it will be attributed to another nation, country, or event. I told you so, Jerome Powell. You should have started cutting a long time ago, Trump will say. But for this to happen, it's all a play. President Trump asks whether he can name himself the Fed's chair. I'll perform a far better job than Powell, yet the Fed was blamed. The scene is set, Powell. You crash, Mark. Are you all blind? You guys are beginning to realize what's going to happen now. The markets will tumble as a result of them, all right? After that, everything will most likely rise like never before. And you know what? Both Donald Trump and the Fed claim that the economy is better than it has ever been. That's strange. They actually say that to you, don't you, correct? That everything is good, don't worry, we have everything under control, but you don't, since this is all planned and the crash is coming. Donald Trump is now declaring it clearly and unequivocally. I'll make sure you grasp everything completely if you don't already. Unquote this quote, it's too late. Our nation is losing hundreds of billions of dollars because of Powell. He is genuinely among the most foolish and damaging individuals in the government, and the Fed board is complicit. 10 cutbacks have been made in Europe. We haven't had any. All of Biden's short-term debt should be reduced by 2.5 percentage points, saving billions of dollars. In America's shame, we have low inflation too late. Folks, there it is. Correct? This is the strategy. Okay, so Trump is on this side, which is playing the nice guy. On the opposite side, on the left, we have Jerome Powell playing the villain. Guys, this is all a show, right? For the public to realize that Donald Trump will not be held accountable when the recession hits and what follows. Even when the AC National just exceeded $37 trillion, the money printing to enormous quantities needs to be increased by 3 times. I'm telling you, this must be the case. When the recession hits, so much money will be printed that it will literally be flying out of the sky. I'm not kidding, but if he stated initially that Trump and the Federal Reserve would cooperate to destroy the AC staller, keep in mind that the beef is the meat is a show for the common people like you and me. In order to implement the new tokenized system, the old system must be destroyed. Phoenix-style Trump will demand negative rates as he has asked for smaller rate decreases. What's going on here? So don't worry, let me explain the strategy and how this relates to cryptocurrency so we can seize the upcoming opportunity. There is more VOD available. You could be asking yourself, well, why should we give your opinions more weight than VOD? It's possible that you have no idea what you're talking about. However, this is concrete evidence that I might be able to express my thoughts aloud. You are not required to adhere to it, but that's because I'm not a financial advisor. Perhaps you ought to consider into your calculation, correct? The stock bottomed out between July 18th to July 15th of 2022, which is why we are here. Let's visit XRP stocks and cryptocurrency. I should point out that on June 18th, XRP dropped to 29 cents, and the first check mark for more VOD was followed by XRP $1.62. Let's examine XRP's progress. December 9th, when the price of XRP dropped to 20 cents from $1.61, we were all here. If the collapse does happen now, that's what's most likely going to happen, which is why I'm advocating for the strategy. The problem is that we haven't entered the recession yet, so the money printing hasn't even begun, and they won't start unless something scary occurs, which is most likely going to happen here. I really believe that I won't let go until I see something change, people. All right, for the entire duration. Subsequently, they will print so much money that the national debt of the United States will truly soar, and stocks and cryptocurrency will follow suit. All right, guys, the same exact thing. Right now, all I'm saying is that Bitcoin has to have $103,000. We'll be all set if it holds this 103K region, but it probably won't. Why? Due to all of the new information that is pouring in right now, which is related to that inbound dump, correct? According to the White House, Trump will decide within 2 weeks whether to strike AI. As a result, the dump is now scheduled to happen in 2 weeks. But this is the problem, isn't it? It doesn't take 2 weeks, in my opinion. Trump said he will decide in the next 2 weeks whether or not to travel to the United States. Regarding the president's decision-making process and whether or not the United States will be directly involved, I am aware that there has been a great deal of conjecture among all of you in the media. In light of that information, I have a direct message from the president, and I quote, "Given the significant likelihood that negotiations with Iran may or may not occur in the near future, I will decide whether or not to travel within the next 2 weeks." For everyone here today, that is a straight quote from the president. However, I don't believe it takes 2 weeks, notwithstanding their readiness.